What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. This is True Crime in the Morning. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. My friends call me Sleuth. We are going to be looking into the Rachel Morin case. This is actually going to be part two on Rachel's case. There has been some updates, and if you see behind me, this is the guy they're looking for here. And we will be getting started in just a few minutes. Good to see everybody. Molly, Metal Mama, Marbles, Shadowbox, Doris, 63 Clocks, Billy, Mary, Cindy, CJK, what's up? My guy Farmer, Billy Wallace, CJK. Good to see everybody. Cindy Hudson, Night Shadow, Doris, my guy Brad from outside of the grid. Mary Flynn, good morning. Okay, this is a fairly recent case. Rachel Morin, born May 20th, 1986. She was murdered August 5th, 2023. She was 37 at the time, mother of five. This took place in Bel Air, Maryland. She was last seen around 6 p.m. entering the Ma and Pa trail system there, less than a mile from her home. Hope everybody's having a great morning. Welcome in, Amelia. So hopefully they will be finding this guy very soon, which I think they will be. I think they're closing in on this person. They chased some information all the way to Illinois. They chased some information to Washington, D.C. So I'm not sure what's going on, but they do believe that the people that they question know their killer. Question is, why is the killer in LA? Why does he have connections to Illinois and Washington, D.C.? What's going on, Mary? Charlotte, welcome in. Daily Survivor. Jamie, what's up? Good to see you. Hope you guys are having a great morning. I got my coffee, just had breakfast. What is up, Boston? That was her boyfriend at the time, Richard Tobin. I think he's since been cleared of any direct involvement anyway. And they apparently they were only recently dating, so she could have been still kind of playing the field a little bit, or maybe just gotten off the field. But either way, somebody from a salon that she was at that day stated that she was on multiple dating sites. But it was right around that same time she went public with this gentleman here. So she could be doing both, you know. Ooh, shout out to Amelia. She will be sponsoring today's live stream. Thank you, Amelia, for that super sticker. I pulled these directly from her Facebook. So she was a busy girl, had a lot of energy. I mean, you can just tell. And even the day that she died, I mean, she was doing so much. And we're going to go through her timeline the best we can, but she was busy. And it looked like she might have been going out on a date. You know, she got her spray tan, she hit the gym. Um she got dropped off by her new boyfriend, and then an hour later she was out alone on the Ma and Pa trail. So maybe she was meeting somebody there. So if you got this guy in LA, I think Chicago and Washington, D.C., and then also in Bel Air, maybe he is targeting his victims through online dating apps. What about this victim from LA? Now, breaking and entering. And now we know he attacked multiple people, including a juvenile. So I could easily see somebody there, parents are away, and somebody there is, communicating with somebody through a dating app, maybe even being catfished, providing information, right? My parents are gone. It's just me and my siblings here alone. And they're like, oh, really? They're getting all the details. Oh, where are your folks? Well, they're out of town. Okay, so you're all alone, you're secluded, and the only protection you have is maybe like an 18, 19-year-old brother who is a pacifist or something. I don't know. But he may have been targeting his victims that way, gathering information and then assessing the potential risk. Okay, so I did a quick overview video a while back on her case. So we're going to watch that. It's like a minute long. And then we're going to go over a few videos, few pieces of information about the case, and then we'll go into the timeline. And the entire time, the goal is just to share this sketch right here behind me. So, we got the lower and the upper. And we know he has a strange small forehead just based off the video evidence. Farmer, this is one of these enigmatic cases. Yeah, just grabs your attention because it's the reality of life invading into this illusion of safety. We all live in this illusion, this make believe world, and Rachel, she was just living her life. She was going here, going there, going to the gym, doing this. She had plans. She was keeping it moving. But at the same time, we are surrounded by monsters, and they are stalking and they are exploiting any weaknesses that we put out there, right? That goes for parents. If you're going to be a weak parent, you're not watching over your kids. We've learned from child predators, the one thing they fear most is a father that would kick their ass. So you got to be that parent that will stomp one of these predators down if you have to, and they need to know that. That will that'll keep your children safe. You got to know your enemies out here, guys. These predators are offering a helping hand. They always seem, they're never who they present themselves as, ever, right? Just like a demon or the devil himself presenting himself as an angel of light, as a being of light. Masquerading is that's what they do, because that's the nature. It's the devil's nature. That's where they get it from. The evil. Okay, so let me know if you guys have the audio on this. You guys can hear that okay? Hey, what's up, Anna? An interview said the Los Angeles neighborhood had decent folks, but was full of gangs. Thought this guy is foreign gang member, maybe out of the country. I haven't seen any information to state that he's foreign, other than the fact that his trail seems to be leading all over the US. But that can be indicative of a truck driver, but could be a migrant. Maybe any other job that you travel for, really. Maybe even in a college, traveling for sports, military. Cindy, are you saying that the sound is good? Oh, Molly, audio good. Okay, thank you. Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. Today we will be discussing the Rachel Morin case. On August 5th, Rachel Morin went on an early evening walk on a popular Bel Air, Maryland trail called Ma and Pa. Stands for Maryland and Pennsylvania. 37-year-old Rachel Morin was last seen at 6 p.m. Her boyfriend reported her missing at 11:23 p.m. and her vehicle was found parked at the trailhead. Morin's body was discovered August 6th in a wooded area on the Monpaw Trail in Bel Air, one day after she left home to go for a walk. DNA found at the crime scene matched. Real quick, I want to go to this comment because you do make a great point, Anna, and this is something I was thinking about yesterday when I was putting together some information. Anna says, surely the people in the LA house heard him speak English as a first language, Spanish, in my opinion. The public ought to be told these details. And you make a good point because here in this quick overview, that you might be 100% hitting the nail right on the head because they recently started to kind of appeal to the Hispanic community. They even put out a flyer that was in Spanish and directed a lot of their advertising and billboards and things like that to the Spanish community. So what that tells me is I don't think law enforcement would just assume that, right? Or the parents just assuming that the LA victim most likely stated, well, he was talking in an accent or was speaking Spanish or maybe something like that. The suspect wanted for a March home invasion and assault, and this took place in Los Angeles. This image here is taken from security footage at that victim's home. A Maryland law firm is launching a digital campaign directed towards the Hispanic community. According to investigators, the suspect is a Hispanic male in his early to mid-20s, estimated to be 5'9" and weighing around 160 pounds. If you have a legitimate tip, send it to rmtips@harvardsheriff.org. That's rmtips@harvardsheriff.org. Thank you for watching. Okay, so that was just a brief overview here. What's going on, 63 Clocks? They said DNA matched Hispanic descent, but no hard evidence of being in country illegally. Yeah, and you get that information from the DNA. Brad, oh, this case. The one with the small forehead guy. Anna says there's almost always plenty of farm work or working in meat packing. This creep has awful pale skin for a farm worker. Doesn't look like he spends much time outdoors. I don't know. I really wouldn't judge anything from that video because those cameras, when they activate, they have like a light, a real bright light that'll pop up. So I don't know how much that's affecting the skin tone. Because here in the sketch, he seems to have a darker skin tone right here. Oh, I don't mean to put my finger in his nose. This guy. And I believe they found this red hat at Rachel's crime scene. Is that correct, guys? I hope I'm not getting that wrong. And that's how they were able to match the DNA. Yeah, that's true. He could be foreign and in this country legally, or not foreign at all, and still have a Spanish accent. Like Columbo, like Murder She Wrote. What's up, Candace? They did say height. I believe it was 5'9", 5'9", 160 pounds.
I had never walked it myself.
For Michael Gabrzeski,
I told my stepdaughter, I said, look, it's not going to be laying out in the open.
the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, uncharted territory.
I said, she's going to be tucked away somewhere.
But the former National Park search and rescue officer has extensive experience tracking down missing people.
So basically, it's my passion to bring closure to that family by bringing her back and not having them wonder what happened.
Following reports, 37-year-old Rachel Morin left for a walk and never returned, Gabrzeski and his stepdaughter taking off on a search rooted on instinct.
I just kept seeing tunnels in my mind. I don't know why, but I just kept seeing tunnels.
Despite law enforcement swarming the area for almost a full day, Gabrzeski's stepdaughter locating the body in about an hour. The deadly discovery.
Once we got down there and I started seeing them tunnels, I started getting goosebumps.
Made in a tunnel drain not far from the trail's main entrance.
I saw a terrible mess.
Gabrzeski's visions meeting the reality of a gruesome scene.
There's not going to be an open casket, I can guarantee you that.
He says Morin's body found in a pool of blood, suffering severe head trauma, an injury he believes could be the result of a rock.
My daughter said that there was a big rock down there.
Some of them just speak Spanish.
Caked in blood.
They don't even like to speak
many of you
English.
want answers, and we do too.
The latest update from the Harford County Sheriff's Department declining to mention how Morin died and not yet naming a suspect. This as Morin's boyfriend quickly taking to social media, proclaiming his innocence. Richard Tobin writing, quote, "I love Rachel. I would never do anything to her. Let the family and I grieve."
I mean, it could have been his way of grieving, but it's not about you. It's about her. It's about bringing her home and somebody's mother, somebody's daughter. She left behind 5 children.
Whoever the killer is, Gabrzeski convinced it's someone with close ties to the victim.
Because it's too personal. If somebody were just to do a thrill kill, it wouldn't be as brutal as what.
You might be right. But then again, you don't have to know somebody to be filled with anger, but I see what he's saying, crimes of passion. are usually going to go above and beyond with the violence. You know, you're in a rage, you're in a fit of rage. Mary Flynn, this guy got too much crap after this. Yeah, I have a follow up article here on that. Let's take a look. It's from AJ McDougal. Title: Man who claimed nature trail victim's face was smashed open is lying, according to the sheriff. This is just a real short one. A man who claimed to multiple media outlets on Thursday that he helped find Rachel Morin, the Maryland hiker, now believed to have been the victim of a violent homicide in a gruesome state, was never even within eyesight of the crime scene, according to authorities. A spokesperson for the Hartford County Sheriff's Office told The Independent that Michael Gabrzeski, who said that he and his stepdaughter had been the first to locate Morin's remains on Sunday, did not find Rachel's body, and that he did not view her body. The spokesperson added that Gabrzeski had been in the area to aid with the search, but that he had no firsthand knowledge of the crime scene. In an interview with the Daily Mail published earlier on Thursday, Gabrzeski claimed that he had seen Morin fully naked and that it had looked like her head had been smashed in with a rock. There was also 15 to 20-foot blood trail in the area, he said. The local station WBFF, he added, there's not going to be an open casket. I can guarantee that. So he didn't have firsthand knowledge, but I guarantee that his stepdaughter did, right? So what this kind of reminds me of is kind of like with the Delphi case, you had Erskine right there, right there when they discovered the crime scene, but not really with firsthand knowledge. So when the people who actually had firsthand knowledge came in contact with Erskine shortly after, he said, well, what did you see? And then they explained it to him. So that's the information he got, was secondhand knowledge. And we all know how that game goes, right? So his stepdaughter did find the crime scene. So in this case, she would be the Pat Brown in this situation, giving secondary information to an Erskine. So she must have told her stepfather, like, this is what I seen. She wasn't wearing any clothes and the wounds to her head, right? She probably described that. And that's why he said, well, she's not going to have an open casket, or made the comments that he did. What is up, Sarah? Welcome in. Damage control? For sure. Yeah, they don't want those details out. And somebody who helps with crime scenes and missing people, that person should have known that. But I just have a feeling they were a little bit maybe overwhelmed at the moment. Mm-hmm. Exactly, Mary. But I have a feeling this person might have been a little bit excited and caught up in the moment. Welcome, nicely done. Says, I have a trail near my house. It's 3 miles. I've seen men walking away from the area carrying sleeping bags. I'll never walk that trail. Bad vibes, in my opinion. That's a good point, too. This dude could be a transient. Could be riding the trains for all we know. A hobo sleeping in the park. But I don't know, 6 p.m. Good to see you, Wanda. What's up, V? I believe he may have saw what he saw, but was just too stupid to keep his mouth shut. Maybe. Amelia says, I don't think he was close to her. I think he had seen her previously, and the rage was a direct correlation of her beauty. See, that's what I was thinking. He wanted to destroy it, not random, but she didn't know him. Those are the vibes that I was getting, Amelia, that he wanted to um, take away, destroy her. Yeah, destroy her beauty. I mean, that's really the only way to put it. He wanted her. He was lusting after her. He was coveting her. And that's where the whole online dating thing comes in. Even if it's not directly to me, it could be an information gathering tool. Like, oh, she's going to be here at this time, or she's planning to be here this. I'll just wait for her. And she doesn't have to be targeted or anything for this person just to choose to attack her. But that's what it seems like, right? And the only reason I say that is because of the LA incident as well. How did this person just happen to home invade somebody and there's no folks there, there's no parents, and it's just uh, some young kids and maybe a younger adult. So tell you right now, you break into my house, you're dead. You are. I'm one of those people that waits. I dare. You know what I mean? So for him to just break in as soon as I hear the glass, there's going to be pieces of him all over the place. Not to mention, I would already have eyes on him before he even got anywhere near a window or a door. So how did he know to target this home? He's not going to take those kind of risks, even with those cameras there. When my husband and I were out on the trails yesterday, all I could think about was cases like this. Yeah, it's disturbing. That's why we cover these cases, because we live in, we have a false sense of security constantly, especially women and young folks. They're just naive to it. Oh, yeah, I'm going shop. I know it's 10. I know it's 11 at night. I just got to pick up a few things for tomorrow. Walking. Oh, I'm going to park over here because I want to get some extra steps. Not thinking about the dangers and the darkness and the evil that lurks. What's up, Frank? Let's go ahead and take a look at her movement from that day. So let's take a long look at how small this area is. It's a lot of movement, but it's not a lot of distance from her home. And there is some lost time between about from 3 to 4 o'clock. And I'm thinking this could be when she met the killer. Like, let me take you out, maybe at the gym or at a bar or a restaurant. Because whenever I go golfing with my friends or I go do anything with a couple of my buddies, we always just we'll go have lunch and we'll have a beer or something. So maybe after the gym, they were like, hey, you want to go get a bite to eat and a beer? And while they're getting a bite to eat and a beer, they meet this guy. Oh, well, I can't go out with you or this or that. I'm kind of seeing somebody, but we can meet at a place like a trail, maybe. Or I even just mentioned it. Not quite sure. Okay, so she would have started her day off here. See if we got a street view. Yeah, that's true. farmer. Okay, so I believe she lived in this building right here. She would have started her day out here. So I don't know if the killer could be from around here. Okay, so from here, looks like she went down Hickory, left on Moore's Mill. Now, where if she stopped anywhere between there and the salon, I'm not sure because from her home, the first place she went was a place called Glow. So I don't know. Did she stop at Dunkin' Donuts? Did she get some breakfast? So it would have been about 2 p.m. at this time. Takes a right on Rock Spring Road. Not far from her home at all. She's going to go under the Bel Air bypass. She's going to pass a McDonald's and bring her to this place called Glow, the bronzing studio. Let's take a look. Now, an employee here told reporters that she had she was on multiple dating sites. And she had only recently gone public with her relationship with Richard Tobin. Hey, what's up, Squeaky Will? They had a tattoo or something very distinguishable. I'm afraid this guy is going to do it again. Yes. Not only do I think he's going to do it again, he may have done it before. If you can't find his victims, they're not going to be able to get any DNA off of them until they find them, if there's more. Maybe these are just a few cases of his reckless victims. You know, the not so planned out ones. Couch hopper. Yep. Hanging out at truck stops. Maybe even he is a trucker. Maybe he just parks his vehicle like in a random place, you know, like nearby. He's just a truck driver, right? Parks in random neighborhoods. And then in the morning, he's on his way. You know, off to LA we go. And then while in LA, makes his drop off, parks his vehicle, and jumps on his dating apps. Starts drinking, right? Doing God knows what. Back on the dating app. Finds a victim right in the neighborhood he's at. Right in the very neighborhood or something within walking distance. Commits the act and goes right back to his truck. Just a theory? All right, so she was getting a spray tan here, and she would come here all the time. So she's coming here today, and then shortly after, she's going to go with an employee from here, and they're going to go to Planet Fitness. Now, she most likely went to the Planet Fitness right across the street which is where her new boyfriend goes. But before that relationship, she actually went to another Planet Fitness. Let me zoom out. About 8 miles away, I think somewhere over here in this area. So I don't see her traveling 8 miles that day to go to a Planet Fitness with the person. Maybe if she was alone, yeah, but she went with this person that worked here. And she had a black, I don't know, she had like a full membership card. She can go to any Planet Fitness that she wanted. So I think it's safe to say she went right across the street here. So she would have been here at Planet Fitness around 9. Or not 9, I'm sorry, like around 3 p.m. I was looking at something else. So 3 p.m. she's here at Planet Fitness, probably between 3 and 4. But I don't know what she was doing between 4 and 5. But see, there's like little restaurants like this, Tudo Fresco. Now, what if he's like working in the kitchen back here? Right? I mean, this looks like a place I would go right after the gym. Always fresh, always Italian. And I don't care where you go, Chinese restaurant, Italian restaurant, you're going to find some Mexican dudes in the back. Trust me. I've worked in plenty of restaurants. Been working since I was 15, so. So I don't know, guys. Did they walk across the street? Let's go to that. I know a good place, Tutto Fresco, right? Because the Glow place is right over there, right across the street. So if she's with this coworker, maybe she mentioned this place or something like that, right? Yeah, me too, Farmer. I'm too old to fight. Oh, I highly recommend it. Guns rights are women's rights. Don't forget that, ladies. 63 says maybe he approached her online, but she rejected him. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she was just like, why would it? I'm already going to the trail. I'm allowed to have friends. The boyfriend I have now, we just started dating. You know, I've already been in a failed marriage. I'm still young. I still have a lot of energy. No, I'm going to play the field a little bit. And what harm is it just going to a trail and talking to somebody? I can make friends, right? If it turns into something more, great. If not, hey, you know, I have a friend for a friend. Good people are always willing to mingle with good people and expect something good to happen, even if it's not for you. They're always expecting something good. Evil people are always taking advantage of those folks. Okay, so from Planet Fitness, at some point, there's some lost time as far as my knowledge from about 4 to 5. So that's the perfect time to go grab a bite to eat, right? Shit, maybe even McDonald's right here. Okay, so after the gym, there's about an hour of lost time. And then her boyfriend, at some point from somewhere, picks her up and takes her home. Okay, so she's back home. Believe this building. It's about 5 o'clock at this point. Okay, and if you just went to the gym, do you really need to go for a hike? You know what I mean? So this guy somehow works his way into getting a date, and I think that's kind of like mutual territory. In a public place, seemingly public. Neutral ground. Okay, I'll go on a hike with you. Gets out there and is rejected. Being forceful. Here, give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Come here, let me hug you. Grabbing. And then boom, she smacks him. Whack. And then there's the monster, right? Smack the human flesh right off it. And there he is. The beast. The only way to handle that beast is with hot metal. Do not forget that. Okay, 5 o'clock. Now she's seen entering the trails and told her boyfriend where she parks, and he says that that's where she typically parks anyway. And that's the area where she was last seen. So she's going to leave home, and look how far she's going. I mean, I don't even know why she drove. I think this is the trail entrance right here. Wait, I'm a little confused. They have the trail entrance right here, but I don't think that's accurate. Hmm. Here, let's go to the street view right here real quick. Okay, that looks like the trail right here. Hmm. Trying to find the area where she parked. Here, I have it on another video. I don't know why that's confusing me so much. It just looks so different. But here, I have it on video. This is an old recording I made. Okay, so William Street. I think this is the trailhead entrance right here. Right where the stop sign is. Okay, William Street. I don't see it. Oh well. So this is where she parked right here. So William Street. Let me see what that street sign says. Eldridge? Something Dale. Yeah, so this is the area she parked. Let me read this sign. Ellendale. I mean, it's got to be somewhere right here. Here's Ellendale. So Williams and Ellendale. We found it. Okay. So right there. So let's see how close that area right here is to her home. Independent Brewing Company. Look at that. So it's not very far at all. So she didn't like, that's more urban. This is like more of an urban trail. But then once you get to the area where she actually accessed the trails, it's all wooded. So she would have parked right here and began walking right at 6 o'clock. She wasn't reported missing until about 11:23 p.m. So that makes me think that she wasn't supposed to get back with anybody. She may have had plans, right? Nobody was expecting her until maybe at least 8 or 9ish. Wanda, searching for love, I think, says, I just don't know how people choose to meet up with some random dude online. Well, you got to remember these creeps will groom you. They're very patient. Remember Keegan Kline? He was messaging 50 people at one time. They're playing like the numbers game. If you say the right thing at the right time for the right person, boom, you got their attention. They might still be cautious, but you have their ear. And then from that moment, they just chip away, chip away, chip away, chip away. A month later, you're meeting them at the Ma and Pa hiking trail. Still leery of the situation, right? That's why I'm meeting them at the trail. It'll be fine. It's a public place. V says he does walk out of the house on the ring. Didn't it seem like he was a welcome visitor, or did I misinterpret? Interpret. Oh, let's take a look at that video. I don't know. He could be drunk and just kind of like surprised that nobody's kicking his ass. Like, okay, I'm out of here then. You know, like just being cocky, and they're just like just shocked, right? Like, we don't know what just happened, and this guy's just so nonchalant about it all. No, just some like a very strange situation for them. And this fool's probably out of his mind, so he's just like, whatever, I don't care. All right, so this is basically frame by frame. See, he's got like a really small forehead. We're looking for the mini forehead man. See that? Look at that. Yeah, that's what I think. She resisted and he accused her of racism. These creeps fantasize that victims want what they offer. I don't know about all that, but I definitely can see the anger from the rejection. Or maybe even just targeting women, acting as if he's interested and he just plans to hurt them. All right, guys, this is our 10-minute warning. I think we'll go ahead and spend the rest of the time in the chat. We might be going live again later on today as well. But I want to get with Frank Meister first and see what he's up to. Doris, we have an electric fence and it looks like an airport with lights. We also have Morin cameras. Yeah, you can't have too many cameras. Exactly, farmer. That's all it is. And the thing is, you never know when tragedy is going to strike. It's weird. You never know when you're going to come in contact with some crazy person. It's your fate up against their will through the thick and thin. You are a bleeding heart liberal, farmer. You're our bleeding heart liberal. Spray tan. This is the area where she was found, I believe. And I call it a choke point. And it might be the most secluded area. Now you can go under the highway right here. So he could have been using this as a way to get from point A to point B. So let's say he's living here or he's leaving a friend here. And he's taking the trail home. And as he's going this way, Rachel is coming this way. They cross paths somewhere in here. This is where she was found. Might have an image of that actual location. Magic Mikey. Yeah, there was a very similar case here in Phoenix. Young lady was running a trail, blonde hair, and a lone wolf on his way home, traveling. He didn't live far at all. He just happened to be traveling home, seen her. So it could be the very same situation here. Man, he just happened to be a sick person with a long rap sheet. Not yet. Nicely done. Not yet. Little skeezers. Let's pull it back up. That's funny. What was that by Planet Fitness? Oh no, it was over here by the glow, huh? Let's go to Street View. Let's go to Hair Boutique, Little Skeezers. You don't like the hot and ready? If you don't like the hot and ready, just go to the pizzeria. Oh, I bet you these wings are bomb. Van's kind of kidnappy. Yeah, maybe we can go to the pizzeria. They got great wings. Shit, maybe he works back here. Oh, voyeurism farmer. Yeah, a lot of people get employees get in trouble all the time at those places. There was a case recently I just covered where he got busted filming people in a changing room or something at a tanning salon. The workout circuit. Hey, what's up, Ruckus? Good to see you. And it says with so much CCTV, plate readers, etc., I think if he was a truck driver, he would have been seen at a truck stop. Remember, a sketch isn't a photo. It's a depiction of a resemblance. Of a memory that you weren't supposed to remember. Jean Barker says, I thought she lived in a house. Not according to the records. Maybe she drove there because she had errands with the car afterward, picking up kids, for instance. That's a good point. Everybody starts calling around, can't get a hold of their mom. Finally, they get a hold of the boyfriend. Worried, around 11, he calls the cops. Walking is more aerobic than what is generally done at the gym. Well, I mean, you can walk at the gym. You can walk on the treadmill, run on the treadmill. But yeah, if you want to get in that kind of a workout, but it's just strange. I don't see you working out from 2 to 3 or from 3 to 4 and then go work out again after you've probably showered and all of that, right? So it seems like a date to me. It seems like neutral ground. And it reminds me of why they may have picked the bridge in the Delphi case, right? For all we know, it wasn't even Richard Allen's idea, it was the girl's idea. And Richard Allen was like, oh, okay, say less, say less. The high bridge, say less, because I wouldn't have picked a better place myself. So for them, they thought they were being safe, neutral ground, maybe even their territory, right? This is my turf. You're not gonna do anything to me on my turf, not knowing that it's also the killer's turf. Maybe even more so. CJK, someone is hiding him, giving him shelter and food, in my opinion. If he's still in the United States, I mean, he doesn't have to go to any legal port of entry. He can just cross the border. Wouldn't even be on camera. It was a separate incident. My bad. Oh, not sure what you're referring to. Let's go to Oz. Welcome in, Oz. If you look closely, it definitely looks like he has a firearm concealed with whatever that clothing is. What, his shoes or whatever? Oops. Oh, right here. Like he's got it covered with his shirt or something. I didn't hear any mention of a gun. We're surrounded by businesses on 3 sides and police, fire station, another, plus we are the most neighbors. Nice haircut, Chicago Bulls ball cap. He has income. Well, I wouldn't call that a nice haircut. And I don't know. At this point, I don't know if they're going to be able to say he's the killer. Right? If all they have is the hat at the scene, it's kind of like the bullet, right? The Richard Allen magic bullet. Bro, why did your hat end up at the scene of the crime, right? And then also you're the suspect in another crime. It's kind of like, how did your bullet end up here and you were at the trail that day? So it's really just a massive clue that will lead to, breaking everything wide open. Think he is mobile. Young truck driver, maybe. Young hobo, maybe a migrant. Student. His DNA is not on file, so either he's illegal, very young, No, doesn't have a criminal record yet. Magic Mikey, Little Skeezers, and Kidnappy. Well, here's a new one for you. Goosefraba. You remember that term they say in anger management? I guess it doesn't mean that. It's not really an Eskimo term. I think it has something to do with like revenge, anger, sex, or something. Here's a tidbit for you. He looks affluent to me. Put together well, always primping. Yeah, I could see that. I think he even had like a gold like little necklace on or something. Is that what we're seeing right here? Something around his neck. I don't know if it's a neck, if it's a shining off the light pretty good. All right, let me go to a few more comments and then we got to get out of here. Oh, here's a good one from Amelia Lavender. They traced the hat back to where it was shipped and then sold. It's a cheap knockoff. He has no money. He's a lazy opportunist, fake thief. Little knockoff. Oh, that's funny. Oz says no DNA on the hat. No, that's where they got the DNA. I'm sure from a hair, piece of hair, or hair follicle, or maybe even touch DNA. Sure, his fingerprints would be all over this sticker right here and the hat itself. What's up, Frost? Somebody in the military. There's a lot of folks who think military because of the traveling back and forth. I mean, let's put it in perspective here. These are the locations the investigation has taken them. So from LA to Chicago to Maryland to Washington, D.C. So, I mean, we're talking coast to coast here. This is a lot of area. This is like Koberger and his pops. Remember, they're traveling all across here. All the way to Pennsylvania. But instead, it looks like this guy's traveling to Chicago and then all the way to LA. But he could be flying. I think somebody even mentioned a flight attendant. He looks all proper at work. But when he gets to his hotel and he gets all dressed up, you can tell he's like a street guy. Going out to the club, trying to pick up women, and then back on the next flight out of town. There you go. Usually does revenge or anger. Yeah, exactly. Goosefraba. He rubs his earlobe, says it's like an old Eskimo saying when you get really mad.
Oh, the anger sharks are swimming.
If they have fingerprints, then he'd be found in a military database, I believe, on file. That's what somebody else said. And then I had somebody else tell me that they couldn't gain access to it. That was a stereotype. A flight attendant. I mean, think about it. What else? If he was a trucker, he wouldn't be well groomed. I don't see that he's well groomed, but that's what other people are picking up on, and I don't see that he's not. So, yes, 100% 63. And that's the point. Get his face out there. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of True Crime in the Morning. This is Rachel Morin's case, part 2. This piece of shit behind me is the number 1 suspect. So if you guys have seen him, make sure you contact authorities as soon as possible. And I will see you guys very soon.